There's more! I'm back! CGI shit!
I rest my case.
It was fucking horrible!
Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome to another opening night, the first of 2024. Wow. And I figured we'd start this year with a classic. Why not? So it's kind of funny, a lot of movies right now in January are not really that good. January is sort of a dumping ground for crap. But on a surprise day, it was a rainy day last weekend, I was just walking around doing, just shopping around, looking for props and costumes for a few projects. And I noticed that my local Cineplex, they were doing a re-release of the 1931 adaptation of, or the classic in this case, The Wizard of Oz, with Judy Garland and all that shit. And it was for the film's 80th, or 85th anniversary. It's 85 years old this year. Now, I should point out, I'm just showing for display reasons, I have the 70th edition DVD release. There's been so many releases of this goddamn movie because The Wizard of Oz is iconic. It's classic. I have dealt my fingers, like dipped my toes into the Oz mythology with my review of Oz the Great and Powerful, literally all the way back in like season 1 of my show. I remember liking it when it came out. I haven't seen it since. But that was in a period of time where I was actually trying to experiment with other reviews outside of Kong. And, I mean, compared to King Kong, the original, Wizard of Oz, it's up there as one of the greatest film classics. Now, what, for me, kind of counts as a film classic, I would say is everything made nowadays up to, I would say, mid-90s, is sort of where we're at with classic movies. Because, I mean, like Jurassic Park and Waterworld and all those movies, now they're classics. But, like, Wizard of Oz, King Kong, The Adventures of Robin Hood, and Casablanca are sort of, for me, and all the Universal Monster movies, those are like the definitive classics, the ones that you should watch. And Wizard of Oz is one of them. And I remember, I grew up with this movie like everybody else did. I watched it on VHS. My aunt, it's one of my aunt's favorite movies, is Wizard of Oz, so I did grow up with it a lot. And it is, what's the plot, basically? I mean, if you don't know what it is, a girl named Dorothy, played by Judy Garland, basically is stuck on this farm life in Kansas, and the whole movie starts off with Sepia Tone, where she's dealing with the fact that there's this Margaret Thatcher-looking bitch who wants to destroy her dog Toto. Toto runs away, and then she runs away with him. They come across some sort of, some, like, fortune teller guy, which, by the way, watching that scene, it's funny, because I saw this, and when, the old lady shows up who says, "I want Toto destroyed," I was thinking to my head, oh great, it's Karen, but then when, like, the thing came up, I was just like, I mean, like, the Wicked Witch theme is iconic. I'm like, oh no, it's Hillary Clinton! But, to the point, it was really funny to watch this. Like, the theater was empty. I saw this, I was thinking I was gonna be the only one in the theater, but then, there was, like, a couple other people showed up, and then halfway through the movie, they left. They're probably thinking, oh, fuck this shit. But, basically, Dorothy, runs away with Toto to this fortune teller, and the fortune teller is, it's funny, because when you first see him and he's trying to predict what she's thinking, I was realizing something. This is literally just the scene where Doc and Marty meet again in Back to the Future 1, when Marty goes to 1955, finds Doc's home, and he's got that big machine, and he's like, Doc's like, oh, this person, this person, and so when the wizard, or well, spoilers, he's the wizard, might as well say that right now, but this fortune teller is trying to predict what Dorothy's about. It's like, you're doing this, no, you're doing this. I just wanted to say, Doc, I'm from the future. I came here in a time machine that you invented, Now, I need your help to get me back to the year 1985. That's just how I felt when I was watching the scene. It was really fun. So, like, is this where the scene sort of stemmed from in Back to the Future? I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. But, basically, Dorothy goes home in one of... I'm just gonna say this right now. One of the best tornado scenes of cinema. Like, after 85 years, those tornado effects still hold up. I am shocked. Like, even watching it in the theater on the big screen, I'm not gonna lie, the wide shots, where it's obviously a rear screen projection with the cast, terrifying. As somebody who has been through tornadoes, like, I know how horrifying it can be, and the movie nailed it. Like, I still think those are some of the best effects to this day. I mean, even Twister is, like, I love Twister, but here they are just unstoppable forces of nature. The Twister in this is fantastic. But, of course, Dorothy gets home, the storm's happening, she gets hit over the head, and then she's magically sent to the land of Oz via her house in the tornado, and then the whole movie becomes a color flick, which I love. I love the fact that it goes to color. And what most people don't know is that this is one of the first big movies in color. Yes, Gone with the Wind also came out the same year. In fact, Wizard of Oz was an Oscar contender, but was beaten by Gone with the Wind. And essentially, they were two of the biggest movies in color. I would say this, the top 3 best movies in color of, like, the start of the color age of cinema: Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wind, and The Adventures of Robin Hood. And out of all of them, I prefer Robin Hood. They both kind of all came out the same. But, with Wizard of Oz, so back to Oz. So, we're in the land of Oz, we come across the Munchkin Village, which, fun fact, those sound stages are still in LA at the MGM lot, and the Munchkin Village is actually the same soundstage that they would later use in Hook for the big pirate village with the crocodile clock tower. It was the same exact location. In fact, where the trapdoor is, where the Wicked Witch is, which, funny, you can see it on the big screen, you can see the trapdoor laid down there, is the same trapdoor that Hoffman would go down when the crocodile would come down and bite him. So I think it's kind of cool that they use sort of the same set, and you could actually kind of, if you were to take, like, a grand scope still of Munchkin City, and then, like, compare it to the pirate village, you could match up where things set up. It's kind of fascinating. So Dorothy ends up in Munchkin City, and all these, like, little people come out, although I hate in the credits, it's kind of funny that they're called the Singing Midgets. Like, oh, that's not offensive at all. There's a lot of stuff in this movie you're thinking, they would not get away with this today. And she comes across Glinda, the Witch of the North, and, oh, we all know the story about how that is a massive power play. Glinda basically used Dorothy to kill all her enemies and then take over Oz. Which is sort of, when I get through the movie, I'll get through it, but yeah, Glinda tells her you have to go, you know, you have the ruby slippers, you destroyed the Wicked Witch, and in order to get home, you gotta go seek the Wizard of Oz, but also coming across the Wicked Witch of the West is one of the greatest cinematic villains ever. I can't remember who played her, but what a talent. The fact that she was a kindergarten teacher, insane. But I heard, like, in real life, she was a really nice lady. And yes, I do know about the Sesame Street Lost episode where she did reprise her role and they found it because it was lost because it was too scary. I think that's real dedication to the actress who played her. What a talent on that. And some great lines. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too. Ah! Definitive witch. The definitive witch. And to think that in the previous film it was Mila Kunis. It was Meg. But to the point, and also the wizard fucked her. I will stand by that they slept together in that movie as characters. But to the point, Dorothy has to follow the yellow brick road. And it's weird that with this movie being so classic, almost every single goddamn scene in this movie, every frame, has been parodied, referenced, like, done remakes as parodies. So, like, Tom and Jerry and the Wizard of Oz, I know is a really fucked up one. Down to, like, things like, like, when all the Munchkins are singing, follow the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick road, I wasn't hearing that, I was hearing, follow the yellow road, follow the yellow road, and good luck, watch out for Scott, he's a dick, welcome to Canada. Like, I remember the South Park episode did a parody of this. This whole movie's been satirized in many genres, so to see it where it came from is fascinating. There are times one of the biggest things on the big screen that I will say is kind of a flaw with the production design is that obviously they were limited on space for Munchkin City, so half the time, like, half the sets are all matte paintings, like big paintings on the wall at the backdrop. So when, like, Dorothy's, like, skipping from the back and waving goodbye to the Munchkins, and they're like, you're off to see the wizard, I kept thinking, she's like, on my way to this real field, and she was just gonna hit the wall. I don't know why, just, you can tell it's a set. It feels like a school play, and it's hilarious. And actually, our battery's about to go out. Holy shit.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
Okay, we're good. Sorry, ran out of memory there. So, Dorothy obviously meets all the famous characters, the Lion, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow is actually the coolest character, probably the most energetic. The actor who plays him with all that flimsiness, like, and the makeup, like, there's still stuff in this movie that still holds up in how they're done, and it's fascinating. Like, sometimes you can't tell, how they did it. The Tin Man actually, I think, has the best, like, makeup and design and everything involving that, and the actor who plays them is fantastic. I always preferred the Tin Man out of the three, and then the Cowardly Lion, again, like, fantastic, and he's really funny. Like, I know also Wizard of Oz is one of the biggest influences for Star Wars, because Tin Man's C-3PO, Cowardly Lion is Chewbacca, and, you know, the whole, like, quest to find something, you know, rescue the princess from the tower when Dorothy's captured by the Wicked Witch. So, obviously they come across all the lands, and it's funny, too, because one thing I noticed watching this again on the big screen, Oz is full of birds. Like, I was watching it, and the freaking scene where, like, they see the trees that look like the trees from Evil Dead, or, like, the Ents from Lord of the Rings, or, like, my apples. There's, like, a toucan bird or something, and there's all these exotic birds in the forest and shit. I'm thinking, what the hell? Is this the land of Oz or fucking Skull Island? It's like, well, I mean, you got a toucan bird up in the trees. It's like, Toucan Sam, help! You seem to fit right into this world. It's like, follow the yellow brick road? Or like, follow my nose, it always knows. I would have loved it. Toucan Sam in the land of Oz. Could somebody make that happen? But to the point, you know, obviously they come across all their friends and their companions, and the quest continues. The music's great, and the Wicked Witch is obviously on their tail. They go to Oz, which the big court area of the land of Oz, where, you know, was it the Family Guy skit? It's like scrub, scrub here, scrub, scrub there, and the very own land of Oz. It's awesome. And that whole stage, actually, was where they had the Jolly Roger set from Hook, where the ship and the dock, because the Pirate Village and the whole thing, they couldn't fit that into one stage. They had to split them into two, and both of them were used on The Wizard of Oz, which is really cool. So they have to go see the wizard, and I love that one guy, the guard at the gate. Now, there's two guards. The first guard who's, like, you know, at the front with the bell out of order, and it's like, when they show the ruby slippers, he's like, oh, why didn't you say so? I was like, so that's where robots got it from. With the little puppet thing. I love Tim from the Big Weld show. God, I love robots. I should talk about that at some point. But to the point, and then there's the second guard who's, like, crying, and it's really funny. And he's also the one who's like, ah, the wizard says go away. And he just... Why is this movie so funny? Why is this so funny? Why is there so many comedic scenes? Like, all the songs are great. The Lion song is great. It's like, for I am a king of the forest. Like, he's like Chewy. And he's like, oh, it's great. Oh, there's so much to talk about with this movie. I was just making fun of it in my head, thinking I could do a whole riff tracks on Wizard of Oz and not miss a beat. But the wizard tells them, okay, well, you have to go get the witch's broom. So they go to get the witch's broom, and like everybody else, I'm like, Scarecrow's got a fucking gun. And then you realize the big flaws with this movie, how this problem could have been solved in many times. Like, when the flying monkeys and the guards are coming in, you think the Scarecrow would just, like, shoot them? That gun has a purpose. It shoots projectiles super fast to murder things. Like, why doesn't he just shoot them? It makes no sense. He's just there like, oh, I don't like this no thing. Like, it's really funny. Like, these weapons are pointless. And then, like, when they're trying to get Dorothy out, great set of the castle, by the way. Like, when they're going up the stairs, I keep expecting Errol Flynn and Basil Rathbone to show up. You know, sword fighting. But it's a really fun thing. And here's Tin Man, who's got the best weapon, a frickin' axe like Gimli. He doesn't even use it except for, like, chopping down the door to save Dorothy. And granted, it's a great scene, but again, I've seen an edit of that where he's chopping down the door from The Shining and his head pops out with what's her name? Shelley Duvall. And he's like, I'll be tender, I'll be gentle, and awful sentimental. And she's just like, oh my god. So again, I can't unseen half the memes and references from other medias that have done Wizard of Oz. Like, that's how iconic this movie is. But then the other issue I have is when Dorothy's captured by the witch and has, like, that hourglass supposed to take her life. Hi, you know, Dorothy, because the whole thing is like, okay, you can take the slippers. And the witch can't do it. It's like, ah! Right, like the zap on the thing, it's got like a barrier. But then it's like, Dorothy, why don't you just take them off? Just take them off! Like, there's two ways you're gonna solve this whole problem, Dorothy. Either take the damn things off yourself, or spit in the witch's face. Problem solved, because she melts in the water and shit. Which, why is there water in the castle? I know the guards have to drink or whatever, and they need to clean shit, but come on! Why do you have, can't you use, like, magic holy water? At least then, like, it's less of a problem. I don't know about salt water. Who knows? But, yeah, it's one of those things where then they go back to the wizard, and then it turns out the wizard's a fraud, but then gives them all their gifts, and then flies home and forgets Dorothy, and cue the classic Mad TV skit, which is, I watched that again afterwards. I'm like, this is hilarious. And then obviously Glinda comes in and says, you don't need to be helped anymore. You've always had the power to go back to Kansas. Why does she sound like a sheep? And Dorothy's just like, excuse me? I would have been cheesed. So basically she goes home. There's no place like home. It ends with the sepia black and white tone that I parodied in my review of Oz the Great and Powerful. And that's the movie. It was cool to actually see like sort of a, a presentation by Turner Classic Movies, which is the only channel I really watch now. It was really cool to see them present that, and there's a huge siren down there, you can hear it. But to the point, it was just cool to see it on the big screen. I had never seen it. A lot of people said that it changes your experience on the big screen, and it does. Yeah, you see some of the visual flaws, and you see a lot more than what you saw on the grainy VHS tapes back in the day. But it's cool to see it here. It's cool to see it on the big screen, the way it was meant to be seen, essentially. And you see all the effort put in. Like, there's a lot of effort and talent into this film. Yes, I know about the behind-the-scenes horrors about the making of this, but outside of that, this movie does still stand the test of time. It's a real, like, you know, timeless classic, as they say, and this is one of the best ones. I would definitely give this one, for me, a good 9 out of 10. Or 9.8 out of 10, like, this is a decent damn fucking movie. I'm glad I saw it again. I'm glad I got to re-experience it again. It was really fun. The music's great and so on, but good time at the cinema. If it ever comes to your town, please go check it out. Like, our tickets were $9. Food was really expensive, but tickets were $9. It was fun. It was a really good time at the cinema. And I had a blast going to see it. So let me know your thoughts on The Wizard of Oz in the comments below. And what's your favorite adaptation of Oz, whether it be the James Franco film and so on. But let me know. And until next time, be sure to support our Patreon. Just on more, we'll get early access to all of our content as well as other special features. My battery's running low. So until the next video, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off saying, there's no place like home. Follow the yellow brick road. Yellow brick road, I fucked it up. I'll talk to you later. Take it easy. Goodbye, folks!
Follow the only road. Follow the only road. To go anywhere in Canada, you just follow the only road. There's only one road in Canada. We call it the road, the only road. Hip hip hooray, let's hear it for our road.
It's paved and wide and up to code.
Alright, dude, let's get the hell out of here. Word.
You're off to see the Prime Minister of Canada.